Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to be taking a trip back in time.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, to explore the early days of the Nigerian music scene.
Okay.
You guys have sent us some incredible sources about Kenny Ogungbi,
Yes.
a true pioneer who played a massive role in shaping the sound of Afrobeats
Absolutely.
and the rise of his iconic label, Kennis Music.
Yeah.
So get ready to unpack a story that is full of twists and turns,
I love twists and
from
turns.
cassette tapes to international acclaim.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's really captivating about this story, I think, is that it goes beyond just the music.
Mhm.
It delves into the business of the music,
Yeah.
the technological shifts that really shaped the industry,
Yeah.
and the sheer determination it took to get Nigerian sounds onto the global stage.
Absolutely. And at the heart of it all is Kenny Ogungbi.
He's a legend.
He's not just a DJ or a record executive.
Right.
He's a man who wears many hats.
Yeah.
He's been a video jockey,
Oh, wow.
VJ on music television,
Okay.
an on-air personality, OAP on radio,
Okay.
and of course a concert promoter and record label boss.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing.
What?
He even has a master's degree in mass communication from a U.S. university.
It's fascinating how that educational background, is often overlooked in these stories of musical success.
Yeah.
But it likely gave him this very unique perspective on media and communication.
Yeah.
And it probably equipped him to understand the power of radio and television
Totally.
in shaping public perception
Yeah.
and driving the popularity of music.
Okay, so how does a guy with a master's degree and a seemingly successful life in Los Angeles
Right.
end up back in Nigeria?
Well, like any good story, there's an unexpected twist.
Ooh, I like it already.
His father passed away.
Oh,
And during the funeral arrangements, his brother-in-law, the High Chief, Dr. Raymond Doc Pizzi, extended a helping hand.
okay.
Little did Kenny know that Doc Pezzi had a bigger plan in mind.
Okay, so here's where the plot thickens.
Yes.
Doc Pezzi, recognizing Kenny's potential, invited him to Nigeria for what was supposed to be a short visit. But 2 weeks turned into 6,
Oh, wow.
filled with lavish dinners and introductions to influential figures.
That's quite the trip.
It's almost like Doc Pezzi was orchestrating a grand seduction
Yeah.
to bring Kenny back to Nigeria.
Interesting.
And then there's this almost unbelievable anecdote
What's that?
about how Kenny lost his job in the U.S.
Oh.
Doc Pezzi, it seems, had a doctor write a letter stating that Kenny was too ill to return on time.
Wow, really?
Yeah, faced with unemployment, Kenny had no choice but to return to Nigeria,
Wow.
where a house and car were waiting for him,
Oh, my God.
courtesy of Doc Pezzi.
Talk about a power move.
Seriously, right?
Yeah.
And this all coincides with the launch of Ray Power FM,
Okay.
Nigeria's first 24-hour indigenous radio station,
I have heard of that.
spearheaded by Doc Pezzi.
Of course.
This timing wasn't just coincidental, right?
Not at all.
No.
Ray Power FM marked a monumental shift in Nigerian radio.
How so?
Well, it moved away from the reliance on pre-recorded cassette tapes that dominated the airwaves
Ugh.
and embraced the then cutting-edge technology of CDs.
Wow, so they were on the forefront of this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And there's this fascinating detail in the source material
Okay.
about the importance of the CD maker
Oh, yeah.
in helping artists like Remedies get their music played on the radio.
Yeah.
Can you unpack that for me?
Yeah. So this seemingly small detail actually underscores a really crucial point
Okay.
about how technology can really disrupt creative industries.
Mhm.
The CD maker essentially democratized music production in Nigeria.
Okay.
Before that, artists often relied on expensive studio time
Right.
to get their music onto a format that radio stations could easily play.
Gotcha.
But the CD maker allowed them to bypass that barrier.
Interesting.
It gave them more control and affordability.
Wow, that's incredibly insightful.
Yeah.
It's like this light bulb moment, understanding how this little piece of equipment played such a big role
Yeah.
in shaping the soundscape of Nigerian music.
Yeah. And it's a reminder that innovation often comes from unexpected places.
Yeah.
It's not always about the big, flashy advancements,
Right.
but rather the tools that empower creators at a grassroots level.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
But Ray Power wasn't just playing music.
No.
He was also playing a role in the production process, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Our sources mention that the final mastering and transfer to CD
Wow.
for the iconic song Shack by Remedies actually happened at Ray Power Studios.
Yeah, they were very hands-on over there.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
And this is where we see Kenny's influence extending beyond just being a DJ or TV host.
Yeah.
He was actively involved in signing artists to his newly formed Kennis music label
Right.
and providing strategic support, even assisting with production.
Yeah.
So this is before Shaq becomes a nationwide hit, right?
Yes.
What was it about this particular song that caught Kenny's attention?
Well, you have to remember, the music scene at that time was still heavily reliant on pre-recorded cassette tapes.
Right.
CDs were just starting to gain traction.
Okay.
So the sound quality and production of Shaq, likely enhanced by the use of CD technology,
Okay.
it would have stood out.
Oh, I see. So he was
Yes,
like,
yeah.
this is different.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's like Ray Power and Kennis music under Kenny's leadership. We're at the forefront of this technological wave,
Yeah.
pushing the boundaries of what Nigerian music could sound like
Absolutely.
and how it could be disseminated.
Exactly. And this innovative approach created a platform that had never existed before,
Wow.
giving Nigerian artists a way to reach a wider audience.
Amazing. But before we dive into the rise of Shaq and the artists it launched,
Yes.
let's talk about the other revolutionary element Kenny brought to the scene,
Okay.
his TV shows.
Oh, yeah.
He was the force behind AIT Jams and later Primetime Africa.
Absolutely. Those shows were revolutionary
Yeah.
because they introduced a visual element to promoting Nigerian music.
Right.
This was before the internet and music videos on demand.
Yeah.
Those shows gave artists a platform to showcase their style and connect with audiences on a visual level.
And the impact was immediate.
Oh, yeah.
The first episode of Primetime Jams had 12 commercials.
Wow.
That speaks volumes about the excitement and interest it generated.
Absolutely. It signaled a shift in how Nigerian music was being perceived.
Yeah.
It wasn't just something you heard on the radio.
Right.
It was becoming a cultural phenomenon influencing fashion,
Wow.
dance, and even advertising.
That's amazing how Kenny was at the forefront of all of these changes.
Yeah.
From radio to television.
Yeah.
He was like a one-man revolution,
A true visionary.
pushing the boundaries of the Nigerian music scene.
Totally.
So with Ray Power playing the music, Primetime Africa showcasing the artists,
Yes.
and Kennis Music signing and supporting talent,
Yeah.
the stage was set for a new era in Nigerian music.
It was.
But how did Shaq by Remedies truly become that turning point
Right?
for Afrobeats? And what's the story behind this iconic track that even you find fascinating?
Well, that's where things get even more interesting.
Ooh, okay.
The story of Shaq is full of twists and turns.
So,
Starting with the fact that it wasn't the entire group that brought the song to Ray Power.
oh, really?
It was Idris Abdul Karim.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
You're telling me that Tony Tatula,
Yes.
who we now consider one of the key members of Remedies, wasn't even part of the initial success of Shaq.
That's right.
So, wow.
Tony joined the group later,
Huh.
and his journey to becoming a part of Remedies is a story in itself.
Wow.
But for now, let's focus on the fact that Idris Abdul Karim
Yeah.
essentially delivered a ready-made hit to Kenny's doorstep.
That's incredible.
It is.
It makes you wonder how many other potential hits were floating around,
Right.
waiting for the right platform
Yeah.
and the right person to champion them.
Exactly. It speaks to the importance of having a keen eye for talent
Mm-hmm.
and a willingness to take risks.
Yeah.
Kenny clearly had both.
So Shaq blows up, becomes a massive hit.
Yeah.
And ultimately leads to the formation of the Plantation Boys,
Yeah.
Two-Face, Blackface and Face,
Yeah.
who become one of the biggest groups in Nigerian music history.
Absolutely. Their music captured the hearts of a generation.
Yeah.
And their success was deeply intertwined with Kenny's guidance
Yeah.
and the platform that Kennis music provided.
Right?
But as we know,
Oh,
no success story is without its share of drama.
here we go.
The group eventually split,
Right.
and there have been accusations that Kenny played a role in their demise.
Right. Blackface has been quite vocal about feeling sidelined and even blackballed from the industry.
Yeah.
But wasn't Kenny just trying to manage a complex situation and make the best decisions for his label and the artist that he was managing?
Well, it's important to acknowledge that these kinds of accusations and conflicts
Yeah.
are unfortunately quite common in the music industry.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Even today,
Yeah.
it's often difficult to separate personal relationships from business decisions.
Right. So while it's tempting to point fingers,
Yeah,
it's likely a much more nuanced situation
it is.
with multiple perspectives and contributing factors.
Right, and it's worth considering how these dynamics, the pressures of fame and the
Yeah.
complexities of artist-label relationships
Mhm.
might have contributed to the group's eventual split.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the drama and the accusations.
Totally.
But remembering that these are real people with complex emotions and motivations
Yeah,
adds a whole other layer to the story.
absolutely.
But before we delve into the Plantation Boys' story,
Okay.
Let's talk about Two-Face's international breakthrough with African Queen.
That song
Yeah,
was a game changer,
it was a cultural phenomenon.
not just for him,
Yeah.
but for Afrobeats as a whole.
Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And the story behind its success is just as fascinating as the song itself.
Oh, okay. Tell me more.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a hit. It was a cultural phenomenon.
It really was.
It was featured in the movie Fat Girls,
I remember that.
and they negotiated a $1 million licensing fee.
$1 million.
That's incredible, especially considering this was way before streaming and digital distribution.
Yeah, imagine that, $1 million for one song back then.
I know.
It really highlights the challenges and triumphs of promoting music internationally in the pre-internet era.
Right.
It was a completely different game.
You're right. No Spotify playlists or social media campaigns.
Nope.
Just pure hustle and a belief in the music.
Exactly.
They were literally carrying suitcases full of CDs to London and Los Angeles.
Yeah, they were.
What can you tell us about those days?
It's a testament to their vision and determination.
Yeah.
Think about it, to get your music heard internationally back then. You had to physically get it into the hands of DJs, radio stations, and tastemakers.
Right?
Kenny and D1 believed in Afrobeat so much that they were willing to do the legwork.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
It's inspiring, really, but this raises a question for me.
Oh.
With all this success, how did Kenny manage these larger-than-life personalities?
Right.
We've got anecdotes about him holding monthly meetings with his artists
Mm-hmm.
and giving very specific advice.
Yeah.
Like, he told Idris Abdul Karim to save his money
Right.
and advised Two-Face to stick with one wife.
That's what makes Kenny's approach so fascinating.
Yeah.
He wasn't just a businessman.
Okay.
He genuinely cared about his artists' well-being.
Right.
Those monthly meetings, for example, allowed for open communication.
Okay.
Everyone had a voice at the table, and that fosters a sense of trust and loyalty.
It wasn't just a contract, it was a relationship.
Exactly.
But how sustainable is that model?
Mm-hmm.
Was he creating dependencies?
Yeah.
Or were artists equipped to manage their own careers after leaving Kenneth's music?
That's a really interesting question.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword.
Okay.
On the one hand, that level of support can be crucial, especially for young artists navigating a complex industry.
Right.
But it's also important for artists to develop their own business acumen.
Yeah, decision-making skills.
So Kenny's approach might have worked brilliantly for its time,
It did.
but the music industry has evolved so much.
It has.
Especially with the rise of streaming services and international labels like Sony and Universal. How does he view this new landscape?
Kenny has spoken about the advantages and potential downsides of the current music scene,
Okay.
while acknowledging the incredible reach of platforms like Spotify and Apple Music.
Great.
He also seems concerned about the impact on artist development.
What do you mean by that?
Well, he's mentioned that in the past, artists had to work harder to get noticed.
Okay.
They had to go through a more rigorous process,
Mm-hmm.
recording, distributing physical copies, promoting through radio and TV.
Right.
It required dedication and resilience.
He used an interesting analogy.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
A song needed to be good enough that he, as a radio personality, would feel confident playing it repeatedly.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't just about catchy tunes.
Right.
It was about quality and substance. That filtering process, in a way, helped to ensure that only the most determined and talented artists rose to the top.
But now with platforms like Spotify and Apple Music,
Mm-hmm.
anyone can upload a song
That's true.
and potentially reach a global audience overnight.
It's democratized the industry, but it also means there's less of a focus on artist development and long-term strategy.
Kenny's also mentioned that international labels like Sony and Universal
Yeah.
are primarily interested in artists who are already successful.
Right.
They're looking for sure bets,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily nurturing new talent.
And that shift from local record labels,
Yeah.
who were more invested in building careers,
Right.
to these international giants raises questions about the future of the industry.
Will the next generation of Nigerian artists have the same opportunities for mentorship and support that Kenny provided?
It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
Kenny's talked about how disheartening it is for investors
Mm-hmm.
when artists achieve a certain level of success and then decide they don't want to continue. It disrupts the whole ecosystem of support and development.
He's even used the phrase overexposure
Oh, wow.
to describe how some artists might be jeopardizing their longevity by constantly being in the public eye,
Yeah.
perhaps engaging in feuds or controversies.
There's wisdom in knowing when to step back and let the music speak for itself.
Right.
This raises an interesting point, doesn't it?
What's that?
In a world of instant gratification and viral fame,
Yeah,
what does it take to build a sustainable career in music?
right.
What separates fleeting success from lasting impact?
This is where I think Kenny's story becomes even more relevant.
Okay.
Even in today's vastly different music landscape,
Mm-hmm.
it's a reminder that talent alone isn't enough.
No, it's not.
You need hustle resilience,
Yeah.
a strong team, and perhaps a bit of luck.
And you have to make smart decisions.
Right,
Remember, he advised Two-Face to focus on his family and avoid the drama.
right.
It shows a holistic approach to artist management. Personal well-being is intertwined with professional success.
So it's about more than just hitting the charts.
Yeah.
It's about building a career and a life that can weather the storms.
Absolutely.
But we can't overlook the financial aspect of all of this.
No, we can't.
Kenny has been quite candid about the costs involved.
Yes, he has.
Producing music videos, promoting songs, building a brand.
He's pushed back against the narrative that record labels are exploiting artists.
Mm-hmm.
He's emphasized that it's a business, not a charity,
Okay.
and everyone involved deserves to be compensated for their contributions.
It's a perspective that often gets lost.
It does.
There's so much hard work, investment, and risk involved in bringing music to the world.
Yeah.
And Kenny was willing to take those risks.
He was.
He put his money and reputation on the line to support these artists.
It's that unwavering belief,
Yeah.
coupled with his business savvy and ability to connect with people, that makes his story so compelling.
Totally.
He's not just a music executive.
Right.
He's a pioneer who helped shape the sound of a generation.
His journey reflects the larger evolution of the Nigerian music industry, from cassette tapes to CDs, local radio, to international streaming platforms.
It's incredible.
It's a story of innovation, adaptation, and unwavering belief in the power of music.
It makes you wonder,
Yeah.
what are the lessons from his experience that can guide the next generation of artists and industry leaders?
Right.
How can they build on this legacy and continue to elevate Nigerian music on the global stage?
It's a question we'll explore further as we move into the final part of our deep dive into the world of Kenny Ogungbe and the rise of Kennis music. It's fascinating to think about Kenny's impact beyond the music.
Oh, absolutely.
He wasn't just discovering and promoting artists, he was building an entire industry.
He was a cultural entrepreneur in the truest sense.
And he did it at a time when the infrastructure for global music distribution was practically non-existent compared to today.
Yeah.
Packing suitcases with CDs and hitting the pavement in London and Los Angeles,
Well, it's great.
that's a level of dedication
It really is.
you don't see often.
It speaks volumes about his belief in the music.
Yeah.
He wasn't just chasing profits.
Right.
He was driven by a passion to share these incredible sounds with the world.
It's important to note that he wasn't solely focused on established artists either.
No.
He had a knack for spotting raw talent and nurturing it.
Right?
That's how he discovered Kelly Handsome,
Oh, yeah.
the artist behind the mega hit Magadan Pay.
That song is huge.
That story about hearing Magadan Pay for the first time in a club in Ejigoli.
Oh, yeah, I read about that.
It's amazing Kenny was instantly drawn to the energy of the song,
Yeah.
even though Kelly Handsome was relatively unknown at the time.
Yeah, it's like he had that ear, you know? You
Yeah.
could just tell.
He flew all the way to Dallas just to meet Kelly Handsome and sign him to Kennis Music.
Wow.
That's a bold move.
That
A
is.
testament to his instincts and willingness to take risks.
It paid off, too.
It did. Magadan Pay became a massive hit,
Yeah.
further solidifying Kenny's reputation as a tastemaker
Absolutely.
and launching Kelly Handsome's career.
It's amazing.
But as we touched upon earlier, the path to success is rarely linear.
Right.
Kelly Handsome eventually left Kennis Music.
Yeah.
It's rumors of creative differences.
It's too bad.
It's a reminder that these artist-label relationships can be incredibly complex.
Yeah, you got egos, you got money. It gets messy.
And this brings us back to a crucial point Kenny has emphasized.
Okay.
The importance of artists understanding the business side of the music industry.
Absolutely.
He stresses the need to carefully review contracts,
Yeah.
consult with lawyers, and really be prepared for the long haul.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It's not just about creating music, it's about building a sustainable career.
He's not trying to sugarcoat the realities of the music business.
Yeah.
He wants artists to be informed, empowered, and not taken advantage of.
He also acknowledges the role of luck and timing in all of this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's a story about an artist he wanted to sign,
Oh, really?
but she wasn't ready to commit to a multi-year contract,
Oh,
and things ultimately didn't work out.
that's a shame.
It highlights the unpredictable nature of the industry.
Absolutely.
sometimes even with immense talent and hard work,
Yeah.
the timing just isn't right.
It's not always the right time.
So as we wrap up this deep dive
Okay.
into the world of Kenny Ogungo and Kenneth's music,
Yeah.
what are the key takeaways
Right.
for aspiring artists today?
Yeah. What can they glean from his incredible journey?
I think it boils down to a few core principles.
Okay. I like it.
First and foremost, passion and dedication.
Right.
Kenny's love for music and his belief in Nigerian artists fueled everything he did.
It wasn't just a job.
It was a mission.
Exactly. And that passion translated into a relentless work ethic.
He was always hustling,
Yeah.
promoting, connecting people,
Yeah.
finding new ways to get Nigerian music heard.
He also possessed a remarkable ability to identify and nurture talent.
Yes,
He understood that artist development is crucial,
totally.
that creating a supportive environment is essential for artists to thrive.
But perhaps the most important lesson is about the power of vision and belief.
I agree.
Kenny saw the potential of Nigerian music long before it became a global phenomenon.
Yeah, he was ahead of the curve.
He had a clear vision and never wavered in his belief.
Inspiring.
It's a powerful reminder that sometimes you have to trust your instincts,
Yeah.
go against the grain, and fight for what you believe in.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And even though the music industry has undergone massive transformations since Kenny's early days,
Oh, yeah?
those core values,
Mm-hmm.
passion, hard work, and vision,
Yeah.
remain timeless and essential for any aspiring artist.
They're the foundation for building a successful career, not just in music, but in any field.
So as you continue on your own journey, dear listener,
Yeah.
remember Kenny's story. Let it inspire you to pursue your dreams with unwavering passion and belief.
Who knows, maybe one day you'll be sharing your own story
Yeah.
of how you helped shape the future of music.
That's a fantastic note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey
This was fun.
through the early days of the Nigerian music scene and the rise of Kenneth's music.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Until next time,
Yes.
keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into the things that fascinate you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.